Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, April 15th.
Ooh,
We had a beautiful weekend.
didn't we?
Sunshine,
It was just so great.
70s. It was just what the doctor prescribed,
Oh my
I think.
goodness. I drove by the Fox River Trail this weekend. There were so many people
Just
out
packed.
walking and biking and rollerblading and doing all those fun things.
Enjoying everything Mother Nature was allowing us to enjoy this
A lot of
weekend.
people got their boats out. Wow, it was just like, it's here, right?
It was the nice taste of like almost an early summer
Yes,
with temperatures in
it
the
really-
70s.
it felt like it,
And
didn't
then we're kind of going to get scooted back into spring a little bit. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
in a moment, but that's okay.
Yeah.
April, we got plenty of time, but it was really nice to enjoy it, especially on the weekend when mostly everybody is at home and enjoying themselves. We want to talk about some big topics that we're talking about. Of course, April 15th, it's tax day.
Tax day, right?
We will get to that in a moment, but first, on Friday, you talked about with your Consumer First Alert report, and you talked about some utility scams and some things that people need to avoid there. So we're going to pull that up here. It's this is a significant day as well for
Right.
utility scams, and
Yes.
talk a little bit about
yeah,
that.
Not just tax day, but April 15th just happens to fall on this day. It's the end of a residential moratorium. So basically what this means is from the months of through November, all through up until now, April 15th, state law in Wisconsin says that utilities cannot disconnect anyone, even if they're behind on their bills. So today that ends. Obviously, it's the cold winter months, so they want to be able to keep people's power on. So what this means is if you're behind on your bills, you need to contact your power, your utility company, and work out a payment plan. They will not automatically disconnect you as long as you're working on a payment plan with them and you make payments. But scammers know this date. We always talk about that, how scammers follow. They know what's happening. So, and as we know, this has happened in years past. This is not a new scam, but they are trying to get you to believe that when they're calling, it is the real, that they are the utility. And I talked with Matt Cullen, who's the spokesperson for Wisconsin Public Service, and he told me they use everything. They will make it look like it's the actual phone number calling. It'll say Wisconsin Public Service, or even whatever your utility is that you use.
They'll have like recordings,
They have
right?
recordings. They use what sounds like their hold music or their the language that they use. Everything. They just use all these tactics. And the biggest thing is that they threaten. That is the key there. They will threaten immediate disconnection.
And that's a red flag.
Definitely a red flag. And then also asking you to pay, when we talk about this a lot, Emerson, to pay with a gift card or through a third-party payment app.
Sure.
If you pay me right now, with Zelle or, something like that, or even cryptocurrency or wiring phone,
Your
or
payments,
wiring the money.
The payments should be going through the website like you always
Yes.
normally do, or
Right.
the spots where you're normally making those payments.
Exactly. They don't use these kind of payment methods with you. And so, just an urgency. So the utilities are warning about this, and also state consumer protection, the Wisconsin Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection, they're warning about this as well. They've said they've already had reports of this scam happening. So the scammers know this. So really, you have to be aware. And if you're hearing this and you're saying, "Oh, well, I'm cool on my bill," but other people, just let them know about this. I mean,
Nothing
this is
like
one
a
thing.
just a little warning, right?
Knowledge is power, right?
It would not be a Consumer First Alert without that gift card
Payment,
warning as
yeah,
well. I
gift
gotta
cards,
gotta make sure
right.
that is always the number one red flag. You should not be paying with gift cards.
Right. And also the other thing is, you're like, well, would the power company call me and to tell me this? No. They said, I asked them that. I said, does WPS make those phone calls and say, here's the deal? No. They're going to send you a letter in the mail. That's how their first point of contact is through the mail. And, if you have any questions, he said to me, we would rather have a person hang up, let's say there is some contact. Let's say it is the real utility calling. He said, we would rather have you hang up on us, go look at your bill and find the phone number and call us back.
Call back.
Yeah, if there's any question at all,
then you're speaking
Yes.
with someone who's legitimate
Yes.
and it's ready.
Right.
And that obviously WPS. Any other scams out there that you're focused on right now?
So that's kind of goes along with this. And we talk about this a lot when you're like, oh, I don't know the phone number for my utility, so I'm going to Google search this. He said that they've had cases where scammers have bought up ads on both Google search engines and Bing. They buy up the ads so they'll pop up at the first spot on the top.
Wow.
I mean, we've had this with other types of things too. So whenever you're looking up something, you have to be extra careful. I mean, as soon as those get up there, you know, I mean, those search engines are also trying to get those down.
Sure.
But
it can only take one person to click on it and
so he
lose
said, you
money.
know, make sure you're going to their actual website and make sure that you're calling the real phone number. So we have all of that for you too. And then I should also mention, I want to let you know, Aisha Morales had a First Alert Safety Desk report on Friday as well about some of those, the payment plans and the help that's out there. There's a lot of, there's grant money and there's different ways that you can get assistance.
Lots of resources. And yeah, head to the First Alert tab on our website, WBAY.com, and you can see all of those resources if you do find yourself in a position where you're struggling to make those payments and want to be able to keep the lights on.
And I also want to add this because I think there's this sort of, I don't want to say embarrassment if people find out that they've gotten scammed.
Sure.
You have to report this. It's so important. You know, these are criminals who are doing this. Much like someone who, you know, if you have somebody stealing something from your car, stealing something from your house, right? These are criminals that are doing this. So there's sometimes like an embarrassment factor that goes along with feeling that you're a scam victim.
And you've had some awesome individuals who have been brave enough to speak to you to make sure that other people at home don't fall victim to those scams.
And that's what it's really about, is just education and letting them know, you know, the state wants to hear from you. And that's how they can track people down too. You know, as much information as you have about these phone calls, about anything that would happen. And if you have friends, maybe you know somebody who got scammed, tell them to report it. It's really, really important. Very,
very important. Something else that's very important, if you haven't filed those taxes yet, it's tax day. You have until midnight to file, so you still got a little bit of time if you have maybe procrastinated, waited until the last moment. I feel like
I saw something when I was looking online this morning that 1 in 3 people do wait until the last minute.
That's a pretty high number of people.
It was. Yeah, actually. I mean, and you can go there too, so you can pay your taxes online, or you can also file for an extension.
Get that 6-month extension, so that would give you until October 15th, but that's just to file. So this is not an extension for payments. You still have to make a payment by midnight. So maybe you don't know what you owe or whatnot. If you are working in the same job, have the same income situation or pretty similar to what you had last year, that means you're probably going to owe this year as well. So head to irs.gov, fill out that information. Again, that payment needs to be made by midnight, or it could be subject to interest and late fees. So just want to give a friendly reminder to everybody out there that today is tax day.
And if you're calling or if you're going online, I mean, I haven't logged on to look at it yet, but just it might be a little backed up.
A little hectic. Yes.
A little hectic.
All of those people that are waiting till the last day. So be ready. Maybe give yourself a little extra time. That's a very good point to make there. And
if you've already filed,
good on you. Yeah. Well done.
You could relax this Monday, right?
Fantastic. Taxes aren't very fun.
No.
This next thing that we're going to talk about is fun. It's the Royal Rump Rumble.
Oh yes, we love saying that.
We've been saying it quite a bit. Maybe you've seen
we
kicked it off on Friday, and we've got there's the team here. We got a picture, some diapers. It's a diaper drive.
We're collecting diapers.
We want to help, and these diapers that we collect, they're going to stay in northeastern Wisconsin. So these are going to be helping families who cannot afford diapers, and this is a problem that I think a lot of people talk about, but it's really important.
Right. And there's 10 nonprofits. So we're joining with Fox Communities Credit Union.
Yep.
They're another sponsor of this, along with Woodward Radio. Fox Communities Credit Union locations. We have all those branches at WBAY.com/diapers.
Yes.
Making it easy for you. So the idea here is really to help out people who, you know, it's a necessity, right? You have young kids, and diapers are very expensive. So we are collecting, and then those diapers will stay right here in the community. They'll go to these 10 nonprofits, which Kristen had talked about this on Friday, and just the amount of people who are going to be helped by this. So this is something brand new. We do coats for kids.
Yep.
So we collect coats. So
something for the springtime now. We want to add to the springtime.
And I think so. We're going through the end of the month through April 30th.
April 30th, and then so in this picture that we had up here, I'll pull it back up. You see one box.
We need more diapers.
One box. There are, I'd say there's probably like close to 8 or 9 boxes out there now from what we saw this morning. And so that's great. It's growing, and we need those to grow because we are in a competition with the other drop-off stations. And we're going to be making, it's the Royal Rump Rumble. So we're going to be making a diaper castle out of all those boxes and the diapers. And then you at home, you online, you're going to be able to vote on the one that you think is the coolest, is the best. And
I feel like we definitely need Steve Balon to help us out on
Steve
this.
is going to be, if you watched our live stream on Friday, which we suggest you watch that live stream at 7:05 as we pull that up there. We have a good time. Steve made diaper crowns for us. We had our diaper crowns on.
He walked out on set, and I was like, what is he doing?
We were like reading a story, and I could hear duct tape in the back weather center, and he walks out with these 2 diaper crowns, and I never expected to wear one of those in my life.
He
but
made us put it on. Yeah.
We put it on.
He posted it at
on his social media pages. So we're having some fun with it, and I think that we're going to have a very competitive castle.
Yes.
I'm feeling confident in our castle making abilities.
Okay.
So not trying to be over optimistic, but I'm confident.
I think we need to let our inner kid shine on
this
one.
I feel like we need to there's some people here that have some younger kids. Maybe bring them in and help and let the imagination flow a little bit.
So if you're able to donate, that would
please.
be great. Maybe you're at work this morning and you're like, hey, some of my coworkers, we wanted to do something good. Maybe let them know and collect some diapers. Or maybe you're outsized. Maybe your kids have outgrown the ones that you have there.
Got some leftover.
Right, leftovers. That would be great.
And it's at, you can drop it off here at our studio, WBAY, or any Fox Communities Credit Union, any branch. They are accepting them as well. So just a fun, important initiative that we're really proud. Our morning show is kind of spearheading that initiative, and we're so happy to be a part of that. So we've got half a month yet to collect some diapers, so hopefully we can fill that lobby up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully we can enjoy that sunshine today, because after today, I think Steve said like 68 degrees he's thinking for the high, and then it's gonna, most of the day will be dry tomorrow until the evening, then it's going to start raining, but we'll let the experts.
We do need the rain.
Yes, high fire danger right now. We had team coverage on that all morning, but we will let the experts tell you all about the weather and what is expected. Download our app here. If you're watching this maybe on Roku or whatnot, you can scan that QR code on your screen. Otherwise, once we wrap up here, just head to the App Store or Google Play, and you can download the First Alert Weather app.
And I know Steve and Catherine are getting ready for their 9 o'clock newscast too. He had just gotten some new information in during our live stream too.
Yes.
I think it was Oconto and Shawano counties.
They both were added to the very high risk of high fire alerts. So yes. Be cautious out there if you're doing any yard work. I mean, it's a great day to do it, but you want to be careful. Any little sparks, they could really cause some significant damage. So just use your heads as you're out there, and enjoy the sunshine before we get that much needed rain throughout the middle of the week here. So
it's always good to have you hopping on with us every Monday. And I think later this morning, I think Catherine's going to hop on and talk about traffic.
Yes.
Later this morning, because it was interesting, because we have a morning editorial at 3:30 every morning where we meet and we kind of talk about what we're planning for our morning newscast. And she's like, I need all my time today because I have a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, it's
listing off
season,
stuff.
Right?
It is, yes.
Orange barrel season. So she's going to be hopping on here later this morning.
About 10:30, I believe, is the plan for that. Give you a lay of the land for all the construction that's going on. So thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. Always fun to join you guys at 8:30 on Monday mornings. Next week, we'll talk about your Consumer First Alert. We'll talk about my Wisconsin adventure that'll air next week. And we'll have some more fun stuff to talk about, I think. So
make it a great week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody.